This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Let's talk about a few things, okay? So, I saw something with Snoop Dogg and Fat Man Scoop. They were doing an interview, and he said, what artist reminds you the most of Tupac? And he said DMX. I could see that where DMX energy, right? DMX's energy was wild, okay? But I think a lot of artists would make up different parts of Tupac. I don't think DMX is the representative. Ja Rule would say that he is because Suge Knight told him that once. People really, like, want to be Tupac when Tupac was Tupac, you know? Like, there's not another Tupac. Tupac was Tupac. You be you. But if you were to see, like, you know, Tupac had a crazy work ethic. He was very... always informing you of different things that were going on in the world. A lot of energy on stage from the videos I've seen. Worked a lot, as we, you know, workaholic, going back to that. Outspoken in a good way. You know, like he would speak his mind. And, but also very genuine. You know, but also mixing with the wrong, you know, crowd when that wasn't really, you know, he was seemed more of a artist to me, but needed that image to get his message across in a way. I don't know, you know, but anyways, Snoop Dogg knew Tupac for real for like less than a year. Tupac came out of jail, I think October 1995, went right to death row because they got him out. And then 1 year later, not even a year later, was gone. Think about how fast that was. I mean, I was very young at the time, but it seemed like that whole year, all you saw was Tupac. It seemed like he had been on death row for 5 years, the amount of work he put in. I mean, he was nonstop on the TV and everything, just nonstop. They were pumping tons of money into him, and he just had all the attention in the world. So Snoop and him didn't get along for like a couple months of that time. You know, that's been spoken about. You know, Snoop Dogg was so scared. Well, not scared, I would say. So concerned about how Suge and Tupac felt about him that he grabbed a fork on the plane on the ride back right before Tupac passed in Vegas. From the trip to New York, he had a fork on him to, you know, thinking that he might get beat up on the plane because he had sided with, you know, said there's no problems with Biggie and Puffy while on the radio in New York when Tupac was going through it with Biggie at that time, which was a dumb issue. Cause I wish that they never had that issue, even though it was like two very talented people lost their lives over something that somebody else did. Anyways, he said DMX is the artist that he feels like, and then, you know, D reacted and said they come from the same bloodline. D's the head of Rough Riders. I would say that Nas and Prodigy give you the most knowledge. I'm thinking off the cuff. I'm not thinking hard on this. You guys can give me your recommendations below. This is me just thinking off the top of my head. Prodigy and Nas give you a lot of knowledge in their records. And Prodigy had that attitude where he didn't care. He did whatever he wanted and said whatever he wanted. Nas is a little more reserved. Then you get energy on stage. I'll give DMX that. In work ethic, I'll say Lil Wayne. Nobody works harder than Lil Wayne. Okay? This guy pumps out lots of music. And there was a run there for him as far as, you know, I know Nas had his run, but Lil Wayne's run was like 2008 to 2011, non-stop Lil Wayne, almost feeling like that Tupac year where on death row where you just saw non-stop Tupac on MTV. I remember as a kid just non-stop, always on MTV, always. I miss those days, music videos on MTV. When did that stop? Around 2010-ish, 11-ish, like completely stopped. Anyways, lastly, we got Jay-Z. He was asked a question. The person said, do you ever think about going back to Marcy and rehabilitating the projects? And he said, well, I wouldn't invest in projects. Like, those are owned by the city. I would rather people change their mentality, because people in places like Marcy feel like they're going to keep it real and never leave their hood, and you should want to get out of there. You should want to move on. There's nothing wrong with moving on. And he says, I'd rather change the mentality of people. But he hasn't done that. He hasn't set up schools there. I think he should set up something to open people's minds that, that there's a whole world beyond that and a way out. Sometimes people feel trapped. I felt trapped before. We've all had that time where we feel like there is that you feel like you have walls in front of you and ceilings and limits, when that's not the case. You have no limits. You create your limits, okay? Look at everything that's been done in the world, That's someone thinking beyond the box, If you're miserable in a job right now, there is a way out. It's just really hard. It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of people aren't willing to put in the sacrifice. You have to be willing to sacrifice to reap the rewards, Go to school at night. Put in extra hours. Say you do 8 hours at work, 4 or 5 hours on your side hobby, and then go to sleep. You can't go out and hang out with friends, and you got to make sacrifices to get ahead in life. And we've all had to do them. When it's like some people aren't willing to make the sacrifices. They want to have the fun and complain about why their life isn't going forward, when sometimes you got to sacrifice fun. You got to sacrifice vacations. You got to sacrifice the things you naturally want to do. It's kind of like losing weight. I want to go eat a lasagna right now, but if I go eat a lasagna right now, I love lasagna. I can't eat lasagna right now. I'll put on more weight. My workout will be defeated, and I really am trying to lose weight right now, So I just appreciate you guys, and I hope these little talks at the end help a little bit. They even help me, believe it or not. So I appreciate you guys for listening and talking to me. Leave your comments below about anything. I'm willing to discuss things. I hate it when people leave comments. They're like, yo, you don't know what you're talking about, da-da-da. Listen, it's a discussion, man. That's what it is. And I'm always open to being wrong. I appreciate you guys. This is Jordan Tower, JT News. And I appreciate you guys so much and love you guys. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Peace.